Hola coolers, and welcome back to the African Cooler channel once again, guys, because Barça are continuing their preparations for the start of next season with their second game of their preseason tour of the United States of America. And this time around, Barça would yet again be playing against a top class opposition, and top class oppositions do not come bigger than Real Madrid. So it is going to be El Clasico at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey on Saturday evening or Sunday morning, depending on your time zone. Once again, Barça and Real Madrid will be meeting yet again in the United States of America during preseason. Barça have won the last three preseason Clásicos between the two sides, winning 3-2 in Las Vegas in 2017, winning 1-0 in Miami in 2022, and winning 3-0 last year in the city of Dallas. So once again, coolers would definitely be hoping that Barça would get one over their arch rivals once again after defeating Manchester City in the previous games 4-1 on penalties, following a 2-2 draw during regulation time. However, there's one player who went on this US tour with the team earlier. He even played that game against Manchester City, but he would definitely not be a part of the team that will face Real Madrid this weekend because Oriol Romeu has departed from the squad. He has flown back to Spain, to the city of Girona, because he is expected to complete a season-long loan move back to his former club from Barça. It is said that Girona have placed 500,000 euros on the table for a loan fee with an option to make that deal permanent for a sum of 1.5 million euros. That would make the total sum of the deal into a potential 2 million euro deal. However, there is also the option of additional variables that lead up to 1 million euros. So if all of those are achieved, Barça would have been expected to receive 3 million euros total package as part of this deal that sees Oriol Romeu move back to Girona. And even though this is not a significant departure in my opinion, because first of all, Romeu's salary is not very high. He's not one of the highest earners in the squad. So his departure would just have a little impact when it comes to the salary cap at Barcelona. But a departure is still a departure, so that is still a positive. So Romeu will not be a Barça player next season. He has gone back to Girona, where in all honesty and fairness to him, he played some of the best football of his career. Personally, I feel like after Southampton, Girona was the team that Romeu gave the best account of himself. So that is one player out of the window for Barça. Barça would definitely be hoping that more players who are surplus requirements would definitely leave this summer. But how about my good old friend Clement Lenglet? He was linked with a move to Atletico Madrid during the course of the week after it was reported that Hansi Flick has been quite impressed with his performances during the course of preseason so far, and it seems like Barça had finally been able to generate some concrete interest in Clement Lenglet. Sometimes I even forget that he's still a Barça player, only to see his pictures popping up once again with the Barça jersey, and I'm like, oh bro, you are still here. But then again, it was also reported that Atletico rejected Lenglet because apparently Lenglet's representatives were the ones who were offering him to Atletico. Atletico had been looking to sign a second center defender after the signing of Robin Lenormand, and Lenglet was offered to Atletico, but Atletico rejected the move for Lenglet. However, it is now reported that fellow Spanish sides Real Sociedad and Sevilla would be interested in taking Clement Lenglet on loan from Barcelona this summer. Of course, Barça would have preferred a permanent departure for Lenglet, but with the high wages that Bartomeu offered him, you see, even till today, we are still feeling the effects of Bartomeu's bad and poor administration, his terrible tenure in charge of Barça. Barça are still feeling the effects of Bartomeu's leadership, and right now we are stuck with Lenglet because Real Sociedad and Sevilla will only be interested in taking the player on loan, which means that Barça will still have to be paying a large portion of his wages during the course of that loan. But regardless, it is still good because it will still free up some salary space for Barça, because Barça really needs to free up those salaries when it comes to making new signings and registering them this season. But now, speaking about new signings, it is no secret now that Barca's top target now seems to be the Spanish international Dani Olmo. For those of you who have not been following the story, recall that a few weeks ago, Barca made that first offer of 40 million euros guaranteed plus an additional 20 million euros in add-ons to Leipzig. That 40 million euros offer it was considered laughable and insulting by Leipzig. In fact, it was said that they didn't even want to reply or respond to Barca's offer, but it was due to the fact that his agent intervened because the player clearly is prioritizing a return to his boyhood club. He has accepted personal terms with Barca for a 6-year contract that is going to last till 2030. But right now, what is left of that deal to be completed is the fact that Barca have still yet to reach an agreement with Leipzig, even after tabling a second and improved offer during the week. The second offer was for 55 million euros guaranteed sum, which means that no matter what happens during the course of his time at the club, Barca would definitely cough out 55 million euros to Leipzig for the transfer of Dani Olmo. However, there was also some installments in that deal. 4 million euros of easily achievable add-ons were part of that offer to Leipzig, and then there was 3 million euros of more difficult to achieve add-ons in that deal, which brings the total cost of that offer to Leipzig up to a gigantic sum of 62 million euros. And this is a really mammoth offer, I must say, because in the current situation that Barca finds itself with the dire financial situation, we have still not even been able to return to that much talked about 1-for-1 rule. But Barca have actually placed a whole sum of 62 million euros on the table for a player like Dani Olmo. And the shocking part is, what we are even hearing once again is that Leipzig may still not even be satisfied with this offer. Mind you, this is an offer that guarantees them 55 million euros guaranteed sum and then an additional 7 million euros in add-ons. But it is said that Leipzig are still not even satisfied with this offer, and their sporting director even came out to say that for the player to leave, they have to reach an agreement that suits all parties in order for the player to leave. One thing he made clear was that this deal was not going to be concluded with only one party ending up as the winning side. So this is clear to say that he is not ready to bend over backwards for Barca when it comes to negotiations for the transfer of Dani Olmo, which means that Barca definitely, if they are serious of getting this player, it has to be on Leipzig's terms. And I begin to wonder now, because what we have heard is that Leipzig want a guaranteed sum of 60 million euros, which was the release clause that expired, mind you, but due to the gentleman agreement, they still accepted that they will let him go for 60 million euros. But what it means right now is that they want a guaranteed sum of 60 million euros plus still add-ons in that deal, because apparently Barca are not going to pay the guaranteed sum as a one-off payment. It's going to be paid in installments as well. So Leipzig apparently want some add-ons in that deal to compensate for the fact that they're not going to get the full money as a one-off payment. And right now I'm beginning to wonder if this is a deal that Barca should really be committing to this way, because right now it seems like we are desperate, because it seems like we have made Dani Olmo the absolute priority. The links to Nico Williams, which I'm going to talk about in a short while, seems to have cooled down a bit in the last few days, because right now the position has not changed. Barca has not received a feedback from Nico Williams just yet. But since it seems like the doubts about a Nico Williams move to Barca are beginning to grow, it seems like Barca now are placing all their eggs in the Dani Olmo basket. And I begin to wonder, because Dani Olmo, no disrespect to the player, he is a great player, he is a spectacular player, and I don't want to be misunderstood, because Dani Olmo is a player that I absolutely love, and I know that he's going to add a lot to Barca. But when you look at the current squad that we have at our disposal, I think we have a lot of players who can play in this number 10 position, which I believe that is where Dani Olmo is going to be playing for the most part if he joins Barca. Pedri can play in that position. Ilkay Gundogan can play in that position. Then Fermin Lopez, who is balling out for Spain at the Olympics right now, can also play in that position. And then in this preseason, we have also seen how good Pablo Torre can be in that position. So with all due respect to Dani Olmo, is he really a player that Barca should be prioritizing in that very position right now, when you look at the fact that Barca actually needs players in other positions more than that attacking midfield role, currently speaking? Because even that left wing is an absolute priority. And if it is looking like Nico Williams is not going to come, because personally I still have hope, I am optimistic that Nico might just decide to come to Barca this summer, but that is left to be seen. It all depends on his final decision. But if Nico cannot come this summer, why not target another left winger? Because surely there must be other top class left wingers in the European transfer market. Barca could as well just go out and look for another top class winger. But Barca right now, it seems like all their eggs are in the Dani Olmo basket. And right now, I'm even scared that Barca may even go back with an even higher bid to Leipzig for the acquisition of Dani Olmo. And that makes me to question our planning, because make no mistake about it, this has the potential to be similar to what our darling Maria Bartomeu did when he went out to cough out that large chunk of money to bring Coutinho from Liverpool. It's not the fact that Coutinho was not a good player, but he was not a good fit for Barca at the time. He wasn't what Barca needed at the time. Barca needed a left winger, a pure left winger after the departure of Neymar. But what did Bartomeu do? He went out and splashed the cash on someone like Coutinho, who clearly was at his best when playing as a number 10 behind the striker, a position which didn't even exist at Barca at that time, because we were clearly always playing with a 4-3-3, and most times whenever we needed a number 10, there was only one player who was always going to fill in that role, and that was Messi, the greatest player of all time. So there was clearly no space for Coutinho, no space, no need for Coutinho at the time. But yet Bartomeu went ahead to still do it. How about signing a player like Ferran Torres for a huge sum of money from Man City in a period where Barca are struggling financially? We are struggling financially, so every euro counts. Whatever we are spending money, or whoever we are spending money on, it has to be a player that will come in right away with a clear plan in mind to get the best out of the player and to get the best out of the team. So right now, I am really doubtful. I don't know how to think about these serious links with Dani Olmo. It seems like a deal that is going to happen. Personally, I would not be surprised to see an announcement or a here we go from Fabrizio Romano in the next few days that Dani Olmo will be a Barca player. But I'm just wondering that would our money be better utilized in other positions at this point? Talking about Nico Williams though, we are still expecting his final decision. He still has not made up his mind whether he's going to remain at Athletic Club or not. But as it stands at the moment, it seems like it's going to be a waiting game, because what I have heard in the Spanish media early in this morning is the fact that Barca have given him until the 12th of August. The 12th of August is the day that he is due to return to Athletic Bilbao training. Right now, it is said that if Barca do not get a response by the 12th of August, they would assume that Nico has decided against joining the club this summer, and at that point, they will call off the pursuit of the Spanish international. So that is just the quick news roundup that I wanted to bring to your way, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. What do you think is going to happen in that preseason Clasico in New Jersey against Real Madrid? What do you make of Barca's pursuit, desperate pursuit of Dani Olmo? And do you think that Nico would eventually make that decision to join Barca this summer? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to leave this video a like, turn on your notification bell so that whenever I drop on the channel, you shall be notified. And most importantly, please do not forget to smash that subscribe button. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.